Hello students, in the week 7 session 2 we have pin diagram of 8051. Content of this session is pin diagram of 8051 microcontroller. In this slide we can see the complete pin diagram of 8051. The most commonly available 8051 is a 40 pin dual in line package. In this microcontroller we have 4 ports P0, P1, P2, P3 and each port consists of 8 pins. Apart from these we have one reset pin, and for external oscillator connection we have extal 1 and extal 2 pins, and we have supply voltage pin VCC, and we have ground pin GND, and apart from this we have one PSEN and ALE pin, and last one is EA bar pin. We will look into the functionality of each pin. The pin number 40 is a supply voltage pin. The supply voltage required here is plus 5 volt. This pin is VCC pin, and the pin number 20 is ground pin which need to be grounded. Coming to the ports, we will see the port 0 first. You can see in the microcontroller pin diagram, port 0 is having total 8 pins P002, P07. The port 0 is an 8-bit bidirectional IO port. These ports are bit addressable, and the another function of this port 0 is it will act as a lower part of the address bus as well as data bus while accessing the external memory. Coming to the port 1, port 1 is having total 8 pins P102, P17. This port 1 will act as a bidirectional IO port, which means we can send the 8-bit data outside the microcontroller or receive the 8-bit data inside. The port 1 is also having internal pull-ups, so we don't need any external pull-up registers. Upon reset, this port 1 will be configured as output port. Coming to the port 2, in the port 2 also we have total 8 pins P202, P27. This port 2 is also act as a bidirectional IO port when there is no external memory, and these pins will act as a higher part of the address bus while accessing to the external memory. Coming to the port 3, in port 3 we have total 8 pins P3.02, P3.7. Port 3 will also act as a bidirectional IO port with internal pull-ups. Apart from this function, port 3 pins will have some special functions we can see here. P3.0 pin will act as a RxD serial input port. P3.1 pin will act as a TXD serial output port. P3.2 will act as a INT0 external interrupt 0. P3.3 will act as a INT1 external interrupt 1, and P3.4 will act as a timer 0 external input, and P3.5 will act as a timer 1 external input, and P3.6 will act as a write signal, and P3.7 is a read signal. Coming to the a very important pin number 9 is a reset pin. Upon applying a high pulse to this pin, will reset the microcontroller, and microcontroller will terminates all its activities when a high pulse is applied to this pin. Upon reset, the content of accumulator, register B, program counter, PSW and DPTR content will reset to 0. Coming to the ALE pin address latch enable, this is a output pin which is mainly used to demultiplex the multiplexed address and data lines of port 0, which means it is used to separate the address lines from A0 to A7 from data lines D0 to D7. Another pin is a PSEN, that is program store enable pin. It is a active low output pin. This pin is used as a read signal for reading the external program memory. And another two pins, Xtel1 and Xtel2 pin, the 8051 microcontroller internally, that is on chip oscillator, but this oscillator to function we need external clock source. The external clock source mainly used is quartz crystal, which is connected to the Xtel1 and Xtel2 pins. These pins are input pins. Coming to the last pin, EA bar or VPP pin, external access enable pin. This pin must be grounded in order to access the external program memory. Otherwise, this pin will be connected to the supply voltage VCC for internal program execution. This pin will also receive the 12 volt programming enable voltage, that is VPP, during flash programming. Thank you, students.